I think, since last 20 years. And he's not only been a mentor and guide to me on a personal note, he has been a mentor and a guide to my children, and a very, very, indulging senior, where, when we stayed together as neighbors, and then, the relationship continued much beyond. Sir is, of course, one of the uh, absolute authority as far as the Army Air Defense is concerned. But being a fellow in the Vivekananda International Foundation, he has contributed immensely towards this self reliance in defense, and this has been his favorite topic. So, may I now request General VK Saxena to please take the stage.
Thank you. Thank you, General Channan, and thank you as a chair to have provided me this opportunity to present my views on a very important subject of the need for self-reliance as it relates to Army air defense. Well, I personally feel that the punch of security in the Atmanirbharta Bharat rests on the shoulders of strong and self-reliant armed forces, which are self-reliant not only in weapons, in technology, in logistics, but also critical technologies. How does this relate to the core of Army air defense is something which is very close to my heart, as the chair brought out, and I will like to bring out my views on this. To start with, I will say that the ground-based air defense rests on three pillars. These pillars are sensors, shooters, and battle management and control systems. Sensors to detect the enemy aircraft, shooters to not let them go unpunished, and battle management and control system to make sure that the air defense battle is conducted with dexterity, with speed, and with efficiency. Well, we have a huge target in front of us. Today, the sensors, shooters, and battle management and control system put together constitute 67% of our inventory. From here, we have to start and become self-reliant in everything. How do we do it? How do we do it? We do it if we realize two things. The dream of self-reliance is to be achieved on two verticals. What is the first one? The first one is that this dream is to be carried on by the twin vehicles of public sector as well as private sector. Number two, we have to realize that there is a need for an attitudinal change in the mindset of the decision makers who should realize that private sector has arrived. They can be trusted for their capabilities, for their potential, and for the promises they want to keep. Let me just straight away get to the brass. Sensors. How do we achieve self-reliance in sensors? As General Channan was bringing out, we may bring out hundreds of failures and faults of the DRDO. Hundreds. But if there is one field where we have to grant them success, where we have to congratulate them, is in the field of ground-based and airborne radar systems. Today, the LRDE of the DRDO is rightly called the radar house of the country. I will not talk about the vintage radars of Indra and USFM. I will start with saying Flycatcher. The today fire control radar is fully under the grips of our country for licensed production, for manufacture, for spares, for upgrade. Reporter radar. Reporter radar marked the entry of the DRDO into early warning and tactical control radars. It's a very big thing. Three-dimensional tactical control radar. I have the proud privilege of inducting it into the Army Air Defense. It marked the entry of the DRDO into the 3D domain. What is 3D domain? A radar bringing out the bearing of the target, the range of the target, as well as the height of the target. The three-dimensional entry was marked by 3D TCR. Look at this radar, gentlemen. Rajendra. This marked the entry of the DRDO into a huge technological domain of phased array radars. Today, this radar is the key radar in the Akash weapon system. Look at this one. I was again had the proud privilege of inducting it into the Indian Army. Gentlemen, this little radar of 250 kgs rode on 5 mules and went up to 17,000 feet. It has a range of 40 kilometers unparalleled. Starting from 2D, we have achieved 3D. The low level, the lightweight, low level radar. Now, the swordfish radar. We went to Israel, the DRDO scientists went to Israel, looked at their radar called Green Pine and converted it to swordfish, which is a basic radar in our active array radar in the BMD system. Well, in some time in 2013 and 14, we started with called mission mode radars. Mission mode radars, how did we start? We told the DRDO, well, BTL together, that we want an air defense fire control radar and an air defense tactical control radar. In a period of, they were to give it in 2 years. Yes, that's all right. There was a day of 2 more years. In 4 years plus, the air defense fire control radar is a reality today, as well as the air defense tactical control radar is a reality today. Both of them are active array radars. One of them is X band, other got a range of 100 kilometers. It is one of fantastic radars. It's a story. But what is the challenge? What is the challenge? This much self-reliance is achieved. What is the challenge today? What is the challenge? The challenge is anti-stealth radars. I urge the DRDO, I urge the LRD that stealth threat is knocking at our door. Talk of J20, talk of J31, talk of any weapon systems, stealth is a big thing. So come out with stealth radars. Become self-reliant in bistatic and multi-static radars. You don't have to invent the wheel. You have the technology. You have to replicate a number of receivers for one transmitter, making it bi and multi-static radar. DRDO starts the research, as you have already started, in passive coherent location. The era today is of passive location of stealthy targets. Passive location, passive coherent location. What you see is the Chinese radar called LW002. We have to go into this field of self-reliance. Then you have to come to low band detection. You have the Russian radars already, P12, P15. You know the technology. This is the Chinese radar, which is called LWLY27. This is a radar in 16 to 19 megahertz band. You have to come into low band detection. You showed us in the last DIF Expo that you have the capability for low band detection. Also, the Tata Power SCD also was venturing into this field. Also, come out with multi-band radars. Multi-band radars are a field in which Russians are in the forefront. They have one radar with multiple frequency band, X band for tracking, L band for tracking, VHF band for stealth detection. This is a challenge for you to come out and have these radars developed over a period of time. I don't say you will invent the wheel, you become all confident tomorrow. Bring into. I am very happy to see the director of DRDO talking about 108 technologies having given to the private sector. You have to push through in the anti-stealth radar domain. The self-reliance need to be achieved in this domain more and more. Over the horizon backscatter radar. You see, this is a Chinese radar. It works on 16 to 19 megahertz. It throws its waves all the way to ionosphere, achieves the range from 2750 kilometers to 3000 kilometers. Okay, this may be a far target in the sky, but backscatter radar is one radar which will defeat stealth for sure. Yes, LIDARs, the laser-based radars, based on the coherent capabilities of laser waves, their directionability, and their high coherence, radar-based radars are a big thing today. Yes, the field in future is also open for quantum radars, where you carry out detection of anti-stealth target based on a totally different technology of entangled photons. It will require another presentation to explain quantum radars, but all experts know that this is another field for you to go forward. So once you have achieved a lot of targets, you have achieved fire control radar, you have achieved tactical control radar, you have achieved early warning radar, You have achieved active and passive phased array radar. You have achieved 3D and 4D radar. Now come to anti-stealth. What else? Come to the 4D domain. 4D is the domain, DRDO and private sector. I urge you to get into this field. These types of radar not only detect the bearing, range and height, also give the time scale of the moving objects in which their detection becomes very precise. Let me come to shooters. What is shooters? The one which will bring down a target. Here you have to achieve self-reliance. I want the country to achieve self-reliance in the shooters. And I'll start with successor guns. There was a time, you don't have to invent that. There's a time and a case is going on in which all the major players of the public and the private sector, I am talking of Tata Power SED, I am talking of Punj Lloyd, I am talking of Bharat Forge, I am talking of OISAT at that time, I am talking of OFB. All of them have tied up with various vendors, OEMs in the world. If Dhanush can be made, if Vajra model can be followed, why can't we have a successor gun in which we have a right of our own? I am a witness, as General Channan was bringing out, in my long decades with Army Air Defense, I am a witness. We came very close to 35 millimeter Sky Shield gun. We became very close to 30 millimeter gun made by Tata Power SCD. We came very close. It is for us to convert the successor. It is very easy to go in for buy global, go for years and years and achieve nothing. It is for call of Atmanirbharta. It is call of self-reliance to make the guns of our own. Now, not only the upgrade must go on, we have upgraded our L70. The Zoo must be upgraded as fast as possible. The Shilka upgrade must go on, but the key punch is successor must be bought. There are players. When OFB can make Dhanush, why not Bharat Forge? Why not Punj Lloyd? Why not L&T? L&T big player. 35 millimeter, they already have the technology. Tata Power with Boomer, 35 millimeter, get it. Makes it self-reliant. Now, we already have the ref from Hanwha Defense. The Shilka, the Tungushka have to find a successor not only from the world. We want our own. Whether we take K30 Biho, whether it is Tungushka upgrade, whether it is Panzi, the SPAD. Now, if we are going for K30 Biho, which is now being looked at independent monitors, we must ensure that the portion of it which has to be made in India, the self-reliance component of it must be achieved. This is a forever lingering chaos of Visharad in which there are Russians, there are Saab, there are Mistral, with so many years gone and gone. I want self-reliance. I urge for self-reliance. BDL has signed an MOU with Thales for Starstreak missile. There was a case of, in 2011, we heard that BDL is setting up a Visharad factory, making factory in Amravati. Gone are the days when this case can linger on, IGLA can come, or there it does not come. I want self-reliance to be achieved in Visharad. Visharad is a very important weapon system. It is a tri-service weapon. It is a weapon of choice. It's a weapon of opportunity. We have to get it. We have to make sure that self-reliance is achieved in Visharad systems. Yes, way to go. I have written way to go. I am very proud to induct this weapon system into the Indian Army on 5th May 2015. Akash is the way to go. This key has to go forward. When Akash can become Akash 1IS, Akash 1S with a better seeker, Akash new generation with a better range, why not have this weapon system proliferate into Akash MRSAM? Akash MRSAM is very much a possibility, and this possibility is within the realms of our own country. This weapon system, gentlemen, is our own. This wears Indian colors. This has Indian soul. This has Indian spirit. Go forward and make sure that the key which I received, many more keys are received. One day we should have Akash MRSAM. One day we should have everything of our own. This is one shining example. This is the QRSAM. Bell QRSAM. I am tired and sick of seeing it trial and tested, trial and tested. There are 7 tests already taken place. I want the bell. I want the DRDO to convert it to reality, to make sure that the QRSAM of today gets operationalized as far as possible. We cannot wait on endlessly for our QRSAM system. I know there are problems of guidance at the moment, there are problems of target acquisition. Make sure that these are, you work hard, you work fast. I challenge you, I task you to make sure that the QRSAM is on our own. Finally, do you see this bracket for the army? Is it not great? Is it not a matter to rejoice that while Barak 8 is coming through DRDO and AII, there is a company everybody knows, Kalyani Rafael Advanced System. Their factory in Hyderabad has got $100 million contract for making Barak missile kits. Go ahead, Bharat Force. Go ahead, private sector. Make sure that these weapon system, more and more parts you make. Let us not be dependent on the AII for perpetuity. Make sure MRSAM is our own. Not only Barak 8 MRSAM, Nakash MRSAM, Barak 8 MRSAM. It should wear Indian color. It should wear Indian spirit. It should wear Indian flag. Yes, somebody was talking about, Bhatia sir was talking about the Indian ballistic missile defense system. Indian ballistic missile defense system is the one which is our own. But we have to make sure that the last bit of its operationalization and induction into the strategic forces command is completed. That's why I've written in this slide, consolidate. And finally, the mother of all, the integrated air defense command and control system must integrate fully, must handshake fully with the integrated air defense command and control system of the other services, of the Army Akash Tir, of the Navy Trikun. Make sure that this lifeline of the air defense battle not only wears Indian colors totally, but also make sure that it is fully operational, it is sticking, it can take on the air defense battle with speed, with dexterity, with efficiency, like I said, BMC2. Jai Hind. And I will say Jai Hind by saying one word. What do I want to say? जो स्वदेशी है वो अपना है, जो विदेशी है वो सपना है. चलो उठो, खड़े हो अपने 2 पांवों पर, दिखा दो आत्मनिर्भरता की शक्ति अपने दमखम पर. Thank you.
Thank you, General Saxena. That is an excellent articulation of your thoughts and the way forward, and the passion, the professionalism, the competence, the ideas. We respect each one of them, and I think that is the way forward. Let's have no doubts about it. It's been too long. We have to get
missile defense is concerned, and the advances that India has made in this area. Some issues that got highlighted is that we have contemporary technology, which is as good as many of the advanced countries in the world. Something that I would like to ask you later during the question answer session would definitely be while all that is okay, what exactly is the progress as far as the Akash 2 is concerned, the QRSAM side is concerned, and also now there are new weapon systems that have come. They are being manufactured in India, but not for India, like the Star Streak and all. So what is the DRDO doing towards developing weapon systems of this kind? But moving on very quickly now, the next speaker that we have today is Mr. Rupesh Kuchal, and he has been with the Hanwha defense systems for a fairly long time, and we've been meeting during those Indo-Korean bilateral meets and all, and the Hanwha systems is here to stay, and they have already delivered one piece, one artillery piece, which is indeed a formidable weapon system and lends to the field artillery the capability of the field artillery in a big way. They are also in it for the SPAD GMS systems, which I believe is somewhere in the procurement process, and I will now actually ask him. We've already dealt with the user, in which General Saxena gave a very passionate plea for Atmanirbharta. So the user is on board. The technology providers have told how they are gearing up, to the challenge of the best in the world. And so now let's hear the manufacturer's perspective.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, IMR, General Arora, for giving the opportunity. Now, my greetings to all the distinguished guests here, Major General A.K. Channan, Lieutenant General Dr. B.K. Saxena, Dr. Amit Kumar. So, today we are talking about the self-reliance in the Army air defense sector. So, I'm going to share a brief presentation.
Yeah, please.
Okay, sir. So thank you, everyone. Today the topic is about Atmanirbharta, or self-reliance in Army air defense. So I'm going to share this presentation of Hanwha, where I will share about Hanwha, the company, its defense business, what we are doing in India, and how we become the part of self-reliance in India, and what we are thinking in the future on this subject. I'm very much impressed about the statement given by VK Saxena about जो स्वदेशी है वो अपना है. So that's a very good statement, sir. And we are also trying to become part of this apna product for India. Okay, so I'm going to start this presentation with about an overview on Hanwha Group, sir. So Hanwha is the seventh largest among the Korean conglomerates and number one in defense industry in Korea, sir. So first, I will give you an overview on the group, and then I will move to the defense business. Hanwha was started in 1952 with the manufacturing of the explosive business. Then the group has grown into multi-profile business conglomerate with diversified holdings, stretching from explosives to manufacturing and construction business, then the chemical and energy business, then the finance and investment, and lifestyle and the leisure business. So you can see our journey from 1952 till now, and we are growing as a good global leaders today. Hanwha has a turnover today about $61 billion plus, and it has got 76 affiliates and 44,000 number of employees in the group. If I divide the group's turnover, so 30 billion is contributed by the manufacturing segment, and 24 billion by the finance segment, and service and leisure segment is contributing about $7 billion US. If you see here in the manufacturing segment, the top three companies belong to our defense vertical: Hanwha Corporation, Hanwha Defense, and Hanwha System. We have a global presence over with 350 overseas offices and the subsidiaries. Now let me come to the defense business of Hanwha. As I mentioned before in the previous slide, there are three main companies in Hanwha which are involved in the defense business. Hanwha Corporation, which is manufacturing the precision guided munitions, ammunitions, sensors, fuses, and pyrotechnics. Then we have Hanwha Defense, which is into the land systems. We are manufacturing the artillery systems, armored vehicles, launchers, air defense system, unmanned systems. Then we have Hanwha Systems, which is into C4I, ISR, naval combat systems, avionics. So all these companies are contributing approximately 4.5 billion US dollars in the sales. And in Korea, we have 13 business sites. We have headquarters in Seoul, and then we have 5 R&D centers and 7 manufacturing units in Korea. If you see on the map of Korea on the right side of the screen, you can see certain locations. Headquarters in Seoul, then Pangyo, Yongin, Daejeon, Daejeon, Gumi, Changwon, and Myosu are the places we have the R&D centers and the manufacturing units. Now, I'll talk about the growth in the defense business. You can see the graph from 2014 till now. We have grown multifolds through the strategic acquisitions. Hanwha has become the number one defense company in Korea, and the product portfolio of Hanwha is today is ranging from the PGM, land systems to the defense electronics business. So in 2014, if you see, we were at the 53rd ranking, and today we are standing at 23rd ranking in the world. I talk about the Hanwha Defense, the major products in the land systems. We have armored vehicles like K-21 infantry fighting vehicle in Korea, and we are doing the next generation infantry fighting vehicle. K-21 105, that is 105 millimeter medium tank, which is using the same chassis which is in operation of the K-21 in Korea. Then armored personal carrier K-200A1. Then we have got armored fighting vehicles 6x6, 8x8 categories, Hexagon and Tarantula, and Barracuda, that is 4x4 vehicle. And then we have got amphibious assault vehicle, that is for the marine applications. We have artillery systems, as General Channan has talked about K9 self-propelled howitzer. In Korea, we call it K9 Thunder. In India, we are partnering with Larsen and Toubro and supplying already to Indian Army under the name of K9 Vajra-T. And we have got K10, that is the ammunition resupply vehicle. It is giving a feeding to the K9. So one K10 is supplying to two K9s. In air defense systems, we have BIHO, that is self-propelled air defense gun and missile system. So General Channan also mentioned, and General V.K. Saxena also mentioned about this. This is right now under the procurement stage with the Indian Ministry of Defense. We are also developing the next generation air defense system. Then we have got 30 millimeter aircraft, anti-aircraft gun system, and Chunma, the short-range surface-to-air missile system. In unmanned systems, we have multi-purpose unmanned vehicle, unmanned surveillance ground vehicle. Then we have got the launchers, ammunition transport vehicles like Chunmu and Chungung in Korea. And we also manufacture the vertical launch system for the ship applications. Now moving to the global footprints that we have in the ammunition, missiles, land systems, defense electronics, we have exported to various countries. Let me talk about the Make in India concept that we have, what we experienced in India. The K9 Thunder program, I would start with, which was in partnership with Larsen and Toubro. This was a bi-global category program. Originally, we tried first time in 2007, but finally the RFP came in 2011, where we partnered with L&T, and we, even though the RFP was on the bi-global category, but from the beginning our concept was like Make in India. After having a successful contract with the Indian Army, as of today, we have delivered close to 70 guns to the Army. They are in service, and they are very much liked by the Indian Army. Almost more than 80% work packages have been already indigenized, and there are more than 400 suppliers in India. They are supplying the components and subsystems, and also all these assemblies are being taken place here at L&T factory in Hazira. Now, having this experience in India, we would like to replicate this for our next project that we is already in pipeline with the Indian Army. That is self-propelled air defense gun and missile system, hybrid BIHO, or K-30 BIHO, that General Channan was talking about, and General Saxena. Yes, General Saxena, I'm agreeing with you. The Swadeshi hai, wo apna hai. So on the similar philosophy, we are also moving, and using this experience, we would like to use the ecosystem, what we have already developed, and more we are going to develop in India. So we are going to do the assembly and the test facilities also in India. We are going to have a partnership with the local vendors. We are going to indigenize more than 1,200 components in India, and this will make a job creation more than 2,400 that we are expecting. That is directly, but there would be a lot of MSME sectors also will be attached to it. So actual job creation will be much more than what we are anticipating. So it is not only the assembly or integration of this vehicle in India, but also the some important components that we are targeting to make in India, sir. Not only manufacturing of this vehicle and supplying to Indian Army, but in future we are also considering to make a maintenance support and after sales support to Indian Army, sir. Because that is also an important aspect that we are considering today, sir. So right now the program is in progress, and we hope that contract is to be, to be finalized very soon. Once it is finalized, we can come up with this replication of this story. So we are ready today to make this successful experience for the repetition in the future. So with this, I would like to thank you all for giving me this opportunity with a short presentation about what we think about Make in India, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for an excellent presentation, Rupesh. The Hanwha system is doing well, and we actually are looking forward to the SPAT GMS. One of the reasons why we need to actually make these programs go forward at a good speed is because if we just buy 100 pieces of particular equipment and then there is no follow-on, the cost of maintaining this in the Indian inventory, actually in the Army's inventory, will become very, very high. So it is good to have follow-on systems, maybe in a different domain, and therefore we, for the good of Indian Army, I hope that this program actually moves forward very
I hope
quickly,
so, sir.
and it's a great yes. So that is all as far as the first session was concerned. We have actually overshot our time slightly, but I think we can still squeeze in, with the permission of General Bhatia, we can squeeze in a couple of questions. And
Please do that.
we will start. Thank each and every participant for this session. It was a wonderful session. We had, the passionate plea and the resolve of the user to actually make India Atmanirbhar. We had the technology providers who had come across with the resolve that they are going to actually compete with the best in the world. And we had a perspective from a user, from a manufacturer who has been successfully part of a very, very interesting program and is on the verge of actually taking a second program forward. Uh, what actually stood out in this entire session, and something that I really need to salute General Saxena for, is everything is possible. Everything is possible. I think the sole missing piece is the attitudinal change and the mindset. uh, till the time we get that right, till the time there is resolve that look, come whatever, we will do it. And we have shown in the past that we can do it. This Atmanirbharta actually requires a huge sense of resolve, both from the technology provider and from the user, and a communication between all the stakeholders to take this entire story forward. So thank you very much, sir. Thank you to IMR, and thank you to CENJOWS for curating what has been an excellent session and an excellent seminar. I've been part of it yesterday as well. And in these difficult times, I think this is one of the best platforms that had come across. And hopefully, whatever we speak here gets quickly translated into action. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so very much. We are almost done on time. Thank you for the session. Thank you to the chair, General Channan, General Saxena. Thank you so very much. It was a very, very passionate one, and I think that's the way forward. Thank you, Dr. Amit Kumar, for giving us your views on the scientific technological advancements and developments And Mr. Rupesh, thank you for your concerns, capacities, capabilities, and that is the aim, to get everyone together so that we have a pragmatic way forward. I'll be failing my duty if I do not. We have about 80 participants, and I must thank a former Chief of the Air Staff, Air Chief Marshal Roop Rahar. He's among the participants, and so is General Nehra, who is the advisor to the CII. We have General Anil Chhe, the former CISC and advisor to Center for Joint Work Studies. Thank you, General Chhe, for joining. We also have a number of very senior people, and also I cannot actually name all of them, but thank you to the former DG, General Naresh Chandra, General Kuldeep. We have General Rajiv Bhatia, General Mukherjee. Thank you so much for joining. And we also have Admiral Raman Prabhat, MD BrahMos. And we have all the right stakeholders from the services headquarters, from the industry, from the scientific community on this platform. And it is up to the stakeholders to carry this forward and make sure that we achieve Atmanirbharta. It is not going to happen tomorrow, definitely not. But way forward has to be there. A focused approach has to be there, and I'm sure India will be Atmanirbhar nation in the years to come. Thank you so much for this session. The next session starts at 11:30, and thank you, General Arora, for this.